Every day cars manufacture emissions that pollute air with huge amount of emitted carbon dioxide. About 47% of it is being emitted from steel buildings. Thus, almost a half of greenhouse gases is related to the building industry. This poses threat to public health. The three main materials used to produce steel are oil, gas, and coal. However, these fossil fuels are non-renewable resources, which means they cannot be replaced as fast as they are being consumed. The statistics says that eventually oil, gas, and coal will be reduced to zero by 2088. Because of this shortage of resources and rapidly growing population, people will not be able to meet the real demand of housing.
Today, half of us live in cities, and that number is going to grow to 75%. Cities and density mean that our buildings are going to continue to be big, and I think there's a role for wood to play in cities. And I feel that way because 3 billion people in the world today, over the next 20 years, will need a new home. That's 40% of the world are going to need a new building built for them in the next 20 years. Now, 1 in 3 people living in cities today actually live in a slum.
That's 1 billion people in the world live in slums. 100 million people in the world are homeless. So, how can these problems be solved?
Now leading architects have put forward an idea for a timber skyscraper, claiming a timber tower would be lighter, safer and greener than its metal counterparts.
By introducing wooden high-rise buildings, they tried to eliminate all previously discussed problems. Despite many controversies about wood as a building material, practice shows a lot of successful wooden buildings and projects around the world. British Columbia, Canada. Forte, Australia. Vancouver, Canada. Hotel in Sweden. New York, USA. London, UK. And Norway. In order to see whether introducing high-rise buildings made of wood is indeed a solution, let us discuss its main disadvantages and advantages. Abiotic processes are nature forces like sun, wind, water, and fire, which can easily decrease effectiveness of using timber as a building material. Wood is vulnerable to pest attacks such as termites and carpenter ants. Termites are very dangerous ones because they immediately damage wood. Carpenter tunnels through the wood and create holes in order to lay eggs. Fungi may cause deterioration of timber because they can dwell and multiply in any habitat. However, these pest attacks can be avoided by correct chemical treatments. But why should we use wood?
Wood is sustainable. It's a renewable resource.
These buildings have to perform to the same standards of life safety and expectations as steel and concrete buildings, and now they can. By saying we can go tall, it was a chance for us to kind of expand our imagination and frankly open up a conversation that wasn't happening.
Calculations that we've done in terms of the carbon benefit of using wood in this building is the equivalent of taking 480 cars off the road for a year.
People like wood. People actually feel more relaxed with wood in its surroundings because they associate it with nature. And what we're finding in studies, scientific studies and psychological studies, is that people relax, they become more sociable, they're a little brighter as well apparently. But the notion really is that wood and cities in dense urban settings may improve the well-being of people generally.
As well as being easy on the eye, CLT, it's claimed, is stronger than concrete and better for the environment. So with so many benefits, why aren't we all living in timber structures already?
So what would be your solution to a problem of scarcity of non-renewable resources? How would you provide housings for the homeless?